air raid sirens in Uman. Civilians seeking shelter from Russian bombs in what Vladimir Putin says is partly a campaign to rid Ukraine of a Nazi leadership. The absurdity of this claim lost on no one here heading to the basement of a synagogue.
The Jewish population of Ukraine has suffered terribly over the last few hundred years. It's had pogroms that have been inflicted on it by the Tsarist regime. It suffered miserably under Stalin, and of course the Jews here were murdered en masse by Hitler.
The tomb of Rabbi Nachman of Breslov is a pilgrimage site for thousands of Hasidic Jews and has flourished under Ukraine's recent governments. Now the streets of its Jewish community are almost deserted, the result of Putin's so-called denazification program. The military site in the town was bombed on day one of the Russian campaign against Ukraine.
Do you think Ukraine has a government of National Socialists, of Nazis? That is what Putin says.
No, I think there is, in Ukraine, you see that Ukraine in the last year, they give us to come to Rabbi Nachman. They don't make us problem.
I've been living here for 7 months, and it's been amazing, very loving and very caring to the Jewish people.
Putin's called on Ukraine's military to rise against the government, which he says is a gang of drug addicts and neo-Nazis who settled in Kiev and took the entire Ukrainian people hostage. On Tuesday, Russian bombing of Kiev's radio tower also damaged a Holocaust memorial at the Babi Yar, where more than 30,000 people were murdered in 1941. Many tens of thousands were murdered later. Now, Ukraine's Jewish president suggested that Putin is following Hitler's lead. He said this kind of a missile strike demonstrates that for many people in Russia, our Kiev is absolutely alien. They don't know anything about our capital, about our history, but they have an order to erase our history, to erase our country, to erase all of us. In Uman, the synagogue's underground mikveh bathing complex is a bunker for Jew and Gentile alike.
I knew that Uman is Jewish, but exactly this place where we are, I just know that it's a bomb shelter and it's safe to be here. That's why I am here.
Like many people in this town, Dasha and her family are joining an exodus out of Ukraine. For those left behind, there's little but the promise of a long, hard winter.
Now, John, there are two major claims used by Putin for this invasion. One is to protect the Russian population. That has been smashed to pieces, quite literally, with the assault on Kharkiv, a city of 1.5 million people, more than 3/4 of whom speak Russian as a mother tongue, and Mariupol, which is now surrounded with people unable to leave their homes, according to the mayor, also a Russian majority mother tongue speaking area. And then, of course, there's this absurd denazification campaign, clearly undermined by the evidence of the synagogue, which I'm standing just a few hundred yards away from. We are under blackout. There have been sirens earlier on in the day, and this is a town, like so many others, that remains in fear of this invasion, an invasion inspired by two entirely false claims, John.
Sam Pally, grateful to you and your team for continuing just to bring us the cold, hard, and sad truths from Ukraine. Sam, thanks so much. When we come back, 1 million